Welcome to the People of Portland and Beyond, episode 22. Today in studio with me, I have Rachael Summers. You're a massage therapist. How long have you been doing that for?
For a little over 11, no, it'll be 11 years in May, actually. Yeah, I graduated in May 2008.
Where'd you graduate from?
The Healing Arts Institute. That's where I went to massage school. That was in Fort Collins, Colorado.
How many hours training?
That was 500 hours, but since then I've taken a bunch of different continuing ed, including structural integration, type of work, aromatherapy, hot stone massage, Indian head massage, getting ready to take a Thai massage class in Vegas this June.
Have you been to Thailand?
No, not yet.
Have you been out of country?
Yes.
Where have you been?
I lived in the Dominican Republic in 2013 for 3 months. That was pretty rad. And then, of course, the traditional Mexico. And then I also did London in 2012.
Nice.
But that's...
I've always wanted to go to London. How did you like that?
So I went in winter.
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar to Portland, except a little bit wetter there.
Yeah.
It was pretty miserable, to be honest.
Kind of like Liverpool, where the Beatles came from?
I don't remember going to Liverpool.
Yeah, no one would go there. It's such a poor, crappy town. But I heard it rains a lot in England.
Yeah, it did. It rained a lot while I was there.
Yeah. Actually, now Liverpool might be better, but I don't know, because I went to Cobain's old town and it still looks really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's Cobain's old town?
It's on the way to Washington. It's like this little stop off. I forget what it's called.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I watched a
By the
documentary
Muddy Banks of the
about
Wish
him.
Car.
What?
Yeah, it's called. There's this. One of the live albums is called The Muddy Banks of the Wish Car or something like that.
Okay.
So I was there. I was under the bank. I was like by that bridge where it's all muddy and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. There's a statue of Cobain, and there's like a big guitar. It's pretty cool, and you could kind of see the environment he grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really bad looking houses, weird colors, strange. You could see why he felt the way he did.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, I'll have to check it out sometime.
What kind of music you into?
I like a lot of EDM.
Mm-hmm.
EDM, rap, hip hop, indie, just a little bit of everything, I guess. Just not country. That's never really been my thing.
Have you ever listened to Infected Mushroom?
Yeah.
Nice.
But that was like more in high school.
Yeah, I did see them at the Crystal Ballroom or the Wonder Ballroom. I always get them confused. A few years ago.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I like their melodies as far as EDM or song structures. I don't know. They're just catchier to me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you into now? Skrillex or something?
No, more like Bass Nectar.
Okay.
Seven Lions. I don't know. Just a bunch of different artists.
Yeah.
Don't really have a favorite.
What about rock or mostly EDM?
It's mostly EDM. Yeah. A little bit of rock. I can get into Dorothy and some other stuff. She puts on a really great show. I saw her at the Hawthorne Theater I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool venue too, because it's super small, very intimate space. It's standing room only, and just a really cool venue. And
Nice.
it's on Hawthorne.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Have you been to any like smaller places or just like the bigger concert venues?
Let's see, Hawthorne, Crystal, Wonder, 45 East. I think I might have went to Holocene.
Mm.
Yeah, I did a couple weeks ago.
Cool. I think I'm playing at the Bid House Saloon May 7th.
You're playing?
Yeah, I'm playing there. Have you heard of that place?
No. Are you in a rock band?
I'm a musician.
Oh, okay.
Guitar's over there.
Hence, guitars.
Yeah, mostly just vocals and guitar, but
Okay.
I have a looper pedal, so there could be background. I could solo to my own stuff, so.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah. Actually playing, have you been to Portland Saturday Market?
Not yet. I always work on Saturdays.
It's about 4 blocks away downtown by the waterfront, which you should take a walk down there. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm playing there April 20th, 2 p.m. also. So,
Okay.
hopefully all my guests come.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the name of your band?
I just go by Joseph Addy. Also
Okay.
on Spotify, actually. Just did a Instagram ad for that. So
What? That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I actually had been about a month since I even posted anything on that account. Longer than a month because I've been doing so busy with the podcast. So. But I do put my own music. It's usually my own music that starts each episode and ends each episode. That's something I produced in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if people are even aware of that sometimes because I don't plug myself enough.
Right. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Except for the bands that I had on episode 15 and 14, yeah. Other than that, it was mostly my music.
Right on.
As back to you, though, I saw that you were doing cupping. Now, how did you learn that technique?
Oh, yeah. I took a continuing ed class at East West College of the Healing Arts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do fire cupping. Really like it. The only thing you really have to worry about is body hair.
Yeah.
And, and if people have products in their hair, because you could light them on fire. But
what can go wrong? What are some horror stories?
Nothing's happened with me so far.
Yeah.
But while I was at East West, there was a guy. He had quite a bit of body hair on him.
Yeah.
And so you use Burt's Bees baby balm to kind of help mat the hair down. But the people who were learning how to cup, they kind of kept catching his hair on fire. So the room started smelling like burned hair, which is awesome.
Uh-huh.
But
everyone loves that smell.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, no, so far for me, I always put a towel over somebody's head. I always ask them if they've used any hair products first off. And then I always put a towel over their head just in case.
Yeah.
I don't really want anyone to use my insurance.
Yeah. I guess a lot of people don't even know that if you get in a car accident, you can get massage. How does that work?
Yeah, so I didn't know this either since I'm not from Oregon, but Oregon has one of the best alternative care insurance coverages out there. So if you have car insurance in Oregon, or if the person that hit you has Oregon car insurance, then you're allowed to get massage for free under the cost of your insurance. Now, it depends. As the massage therapist or the person doing insurance billing, you still have to call the person's car insurance to make sure that they haven't used all of their stuff, all of their money, their PIP coverage benefits. But most people haven't, especially if it's a minor car accident.
Yeah.
So you just verify their insurance, and then, as the client, you come in and you get the massage, and it's different from regular massage because it's very targeted.
Yeah.
And as the practitioner, you have to submit very detailed soap notes. So just the notes that we take during each session. We also have to have a prescription from a doctor. You don't have to, but it helps. And then also just to make sure that the client or the patient doesn't have any serious injuries, broken bones, anything more than just minor strains and sprains.
What if the client, though, if they had pre-existing injuries, is there a way, it seems unfair that they could take advantage of that, or is that okay?
So the pre-existing injuries, you could have pre-existing injuries, but you have to have a recent claim number. The claim number still has to be open in order for you to get massage. So if you were involved in a car accident and you already had some sort of strain in your neck or something.
Guy just tapped you in the back.
Yeah. I can understand how some people might take advantage.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the most part, I think people are pretty honest and they don't.
Yeah. As for your clientele, do you usually get really nice people?
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, especially since I've been working for myself, I've had, my clients are pretty sound people. I've worked for other companies before, and for the most part, they were pretty sound too. But when I was first getting my practice going back in Fort Collins, I worked for Massage Envy, which I know is a little risque to say nowadays with all of the allegations.
Right.
And you'd get some people who are maybe not that great, but yeah.
You're with someone called Brandon, right?
Yeah.
How'd you meet?
Tinder.
Nice.
Yeah. He stood me up. He asked me out for a date, and then he stood me up. But, we ended up finally meeting up. He apologized to me, and we've just been hanging out ever since.
He stood you up and it worked out. That's amazing.
It's rare. Yeah. I blogged about him too.
You decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Why?
Because he apologized publicly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. How did you do that?
It was over Facebook. So I ended up after he stood me up, I was pretty fired up. I've dated a lot, and just kind of sick of the fact that I just got stood up again. And so I went home and I blogged about it, and it was why I love being stood up.
Yeah.
And that was the title of it. And I submitted it to, I think, the Urban Dater.
Yeah.
And then I also decided to start my own blog that day.
Yeah.
And wrote about it. And anyway, I started a Facebook page, and I forgot that we were friends on Facebook. And so I did an invite all to my friends list to have them like my page. He ended up liking my page. And then I think it was a few weeks later, he finally saw that I had posted this blog about him, and he read it. And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Wow. I can't believe I did that.
So yeah, I guess you proved it then.
Yeah.
And why did he not go to the date originally?
Kind of had some anxiety about just, dating in general, which was interesting to hear.
Yeah. You identified a great blue heron. How did you learn how to do that? Like, you saw this cool bird on your Instagram. I saw.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Brandon actually saw it. And so we were hiking down. This was yesterday on the way to Witch's Castle.
Yeah.
And we just looked. There was a stream to our right. And we looked down, and he was like, "Babe, look, there's a great blue heron." And I was just like, "What are they? Is it supposed to be here?" He's like, "No, it's supposed to be like out by the coast, or, they're native to the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska."
Was he a bird watcher?
No.
He just knew the species?
He just knew it. I don't know how he knew it. He lived up in Alaska for a few years, so that's probably how he knew.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about the fact that electric scooters are maybe returning on April 25th?
Oh, I have a client who'd have some really serious input about this.
Really?
He thinks that they're very dangerous. And, they take up the roadways, and they should be following laws that bicyclists and pedestrians and cars have to follow, but they don't. And there are actually quite a bit more injuries because people aren't wearing the proper, helmets and things like that, and they're not necessarily following laws.
Yeah. The helmet thing's going to be a major issue because unless there's going to be a helmet with each bike, I don't see how that works.
Yeah.
And they'd have to make kind of a Bluetooth system where you can't check out unless your helmet is within 6 feet of the bike or something.
Oh, interesting.
I just came up with that idea. I was like, how else could you do that without losing the helmets,
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and then too, like, people, if you're going to get on a scooter, you probably, I assume, if you're going to be in the downtown Portland area, probably going to go out drinking. You know how many helmets are going to get lost?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot.
I think the bicyclists are probably the one that have an issue with the no helmet thing, because they're like, well, why do they get to wear no helmet and we have to? And they're on a motor, like, they're probably like, this is ridiculous.
Right. I bet. Yeah. Personally, for me, I don't know. I'm not really into scooters. I think I'd do it, just for like a fun date or something like that. But
yeah, I've been waiting to use it. I got my free credit, like a promo code, but I was like, I haven't had the need because I have a car. Mm-hmm. And I was just walking short distances. I was like, I haven't needed to do it yet, but I'm going to use that credit at some point.
Yeah. And I don't think it'd be good to do in the winter either.
No. I actually tried to do it in the winter. I was like, all right, I won't have to walk this cold. And it wasn't even around. They took them, they were gone by then.
Yeah. I think it'd be more of like a spring, summer, fall thing for sure. I wouldn't want to do it in the winter. I have a car. Yeah,
there was an article in, I think, the Northwest Examiner, one of those. And they were talking about it. They're like, well, as long as they follow these new rules and regulations, we can have the scooters back. It may be too early for you guys in April, but we're ready for you. So I think they're wanting that extra revenue, for sure.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get Google over here. They wanted to open, I think, a Google. They were trying to open a new thing with Google. It was like high speed connection, basically.
Okay. Oh yeah, Google. I remember hearing about that. I was super stoked because it was going to be like the best internet ever. I would have loved to have been a beta tester for them. Oh my God. Yeah, instead we get CenturyLink and Comcast.
CenturyLink. I had them for a few years until I finally gave up to the even bigger corporation. I was like, I want to support the smaller corporation. No, wait, this upload speed's terrible. It's not even worth the money.
Oh man, I had CenturyLink once for a year and I ended up canceling. And when I went to cancel, worst customer, like worse than Comcast, took me 3 hours to cancel my membership with them. And they wouldn't even listen to me anymore. They just cut me off and just like passed me on to the next person. I don't know, customer service rep. It was the rudest experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
So then I went back to Comcast and now I'm with Fios Frontier. So far, I haven't been with them for very long, but I really like Fios. Fingers crossed, knock on wood.
That sounds like a good tier.
Yeah.
I'm not on that one. I'm on the Blast one, which is pretty good.
And it's cheaper too.
Really? How
Yeah.
much is that one?
I think I'm going to pay, I think it's like $35-$40 a month with a
What?
$75 installation fee, of course. But
The upload, the speeds on that.
I think that one is like up to 200 megabytes per
Are you
second.
serious? And it's 30 something?
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't know what the speeds actually mean, but so far I've had my TV going on my phone and my laptop.
get on that.
Haven't had any issues.
35 and it's not part of a triple play plan or anything?
And I cancel anytime.
Wow. And I renewed with the Blast, and I'm paying like 50, and that's only up to 75 megabytes per second.
Oh my
which I think it's
God.
50 or something. It was 150 at one point, maybe. Maybe they changed the name, because that seems awesome. I gotta check that out.
Yeah. Dude, I was on Comcast and I can't remember what the speeds were, but I was paying like $100 a month for
Yeah.
it. I'm like, this is just internet.
Yeah,
What? This is ridiculous.
yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy so far.
Nice. I saw that you were hiking at Forest Park by the Witch's Castle.
Yeah.
Do you guys go over there often? What's some of your favorite places to walk around?
You know, I haven't been to the Witch's Castle in Forest Park since probably July 2014 with my dad when I first moved here.
Yeah.
But I do really like Forest Park. It's huge, tons of different trails. The Wildwood Trail, I mean, that just goes forever through the Portland area.
Yeah.
So inner city hiking, yeah, I like Portland, Forest Park. Washington Park is good. And then in Beaverton, there's this place, Cooper Mountain. Really like that place. No dogs allowed there. There can be snakes, but we don't really have poisonous snakes here. So that's nothing. It's not really anything to worry about. But I actually prefer to get out towards the coast or up in the gorge. Lately, it's been more towards the coast since we had all the fires from that stupid kid. And
Is that what happened?
yeah, this was back in, I think, 2015. This
Multnomah Falls fires? I hope that wasn't related to that kid.
I think it was the Eagle Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there was this stupid child that decided to go out in a dry, grassy area and light off fireworks. And started a huge forest fire. People had to get evacuated. I mean, people were stranded. People's homes burned down.
Wow.
Yeah. And the worst part is, I don't even think he's assigned community service to help rebuild the trails, which, by the way, like, he should be assigned like 10,000 hours of community service for doing that. That's just absolutely ridiculous that he got fined like $1 million that he's never going to be able to pay off. And
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
it's just dumb. Like, actually, like, put your hands into rebuilding this. That would be
Yeah.
the best punishment ever.
Yeah.
and who
that has
knows?
to be the rest of his life to
Yeah.
try to make up for the damage he did.
Yeah,
Affected so many people.
totally. And wildlife. Burned down an entire forest, and like animals lost their homes. And I'm pro hiking and stuff, so
Yeah.
ruin my hikes.
Yeah, there's enough natural forest fires. We don't need humans adding to that.
Exactly.
This
Yeah.
is really disappointing to see what happened. I don't even think I saw what happened to Multnomah Falls, but I heard about it.
Oh, well, yeah, that ended up being part of the fire.
Really?
Yeah. So luckily the lodge was saved.
Yeah.
But that hike was closed down for a while. I actually just saw on Instagram, one of my friends, he was just on Angel's Rest.
Yeah.
That one was closed off for a while, so it must have just reopened recently. But unfortunately, because of all the fire now, we lost a lot of the shrubs, which helps prevent landslides.
Yeah.
So now with all the rain and stuff, you have to be really careful hiking out there, because you could end up in a landslide.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to hike there a few years ago and couldn't even go up a certain part because there's rocks. Like, I guess it was from a landslide.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely have to make sure you're wearing the right shoes too.
Yeah. As far as your clientele, where do you get most of them? Where do you get most of your clients from?
Mostly it's referrals now.
Yeah.
When I first started, I did a Groupon, which pros and cons to that. But yeah, for the most part, it's mostly referrals, friends of friends, family. Sometimes I just get random people who hit me up on Google, maybe they were close in the area and they're like, hey, your business came up. Yeah. A little bit of Yelp. I do have a Google, my business page, but it's whatever I post on Instagram, I typically post on there, like anything business related. My Instagram is kind of like a mesh between personal and business.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movies Deep Impact or Armageddon?
Yes, both.
Yeah. So it's like it's an issue humans might have to deal with eventually. Like, asteroid could come and destroy us all, or a comet or anything from space, basically. So, in those movies, we found out some successful ways to deal with that, which I found kind of interesting. I was just thinking about the fact that Multnomah Falls, the fires and everything, like, we've come hundreds of years and technology advances, and we still haven't come up with better methods to put out fires. And how are we going to stop a meteor or an asteroid? And these movies are now ridiculous that I think about it, because we can't do big fires. We're not going to do that.
No. Oh man, that's way out of my league. I don't know. I don't even know how to solve that.
It's like, I'm trying to think of some ways, like, why can't you get a big Zeppelin filled with water and just dump it over like a huge forest? Why can't you do things like that now? It's not fair, almost. Satellites, something,
I've got a client who's a firefighter. I'll ask him.
Yeah. Why aren't we like building things into trees, splicing genetics so there's like sprinklers built into the trees? I don't know. Come up with something.
That would be cool.
We're advancing. We should find a way to protect the planet we're on better.
Yeah. And especially since we live in a really wet climate, I don't see why there couldn't be some sort of system that just accumulates the water.
Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be better methods.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah. I see that you're drinking coffee. What are some of your favorite coffee places, and how do you like to drink it? Black?
Oh man, no, I'm not a psychopath. Have you heard that? Have you read that study?
I haven't read that.
So most psychopaths tend to drink their coffee black.
Wow. I put sugar in it somewhere.
Okay, so you're not a psychopath. No. That's good. Well, that'd be kind of creepy.
Eventually I got the milk out just because I was like, actually, how do people do this? And I was just like, I know it's possible. And I was like, wait, you can drink it. But I just still have to have the sugar, because without that, I'm just like, what am I drinking?
Right. I can do it without sugar. I can do it with just like coconut milk. Okay. For the most part, I'm dairy free.
Yeah.
Except, an occasional drunken burrito.
Yeah.
But hey, that doesn't count, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I typically do just coconut milk lattes or like 3/4 drip coffee, and then just coconut milk on top, or hemp milk. That's cool too.
Talk about burritos. You remind me of Los Angeles, where I also used to live.
Oh, okay.
But originally from New York, but I was in LA for a few years. Have you been there, LA?
No, I haven't been to California either.
I don't know. I mean, it's nowhere near as cool as Oregon, but check it out. Just when it's really cold and wintry, it'd be fun to go. Yeah. It was when I remember those days. Like, I would visit New York, come back to LA, and be like, I'm so glad I'm back here where it's nice and warm and sunny. The thing that sucked was when I would look down on the plane and I'd see smog everywhere. It's like an LA thing. It's like you look down and you see smog. It's crazy.
Great. I'll just breathe in the toxins today.
That's the thing I like about here. The air is much better over here.
Yeah.
I used to live in New York, and then LA, it was like terrible and worse in LA, but at least the air is better over here.
Yeah, there are just too many people. And like, going back to the whole, like, we're humans. We're in the 21st century. Like, how haven't we figured out solutions to this? I mean, we have solutions now with like electric cars and everything, but people don't really utilize that, which, I mean, I can't really blame them. They're kind of fugly and they don't go very fast.
Yeah.
And they're not multifaceted. It's not like you could haul a bunch of wood and stuff in them. I don't know. you do man things and stuff.
A lot of the people driving the electric cars now are just like, there's a joke about it now. They're like, well, I'm so much better than you. I'm more superior because I'm treating the environment better.
Yeah. There's definitely, I feel like, a mindset about it. Like each car kind of has their own personality that they'll attract to it.
Yeah.
Different types of people.
Have you ever played a musical instrument?
Yeah. I grew up playing the viola.
Really?
Yeah.
At what point were you taught sheet music?
What grade did I start? Pretty much right away. Yeah, like 6th grade, I think is when I started.
Where was this?
This is in Pine Island, Minnesota.
What was it like growing up in Minnesota?
Cold.
Yeah.
I lived in a really small town, so, I could literally walk from one side of town to the other. It was like the main part of town.
Yeah.
We extended into the country as well, but I could walk from one end of the main town to the other in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So pretty small. Really.
You were longing more?
What?
Were you longing more?
Longing more?
Yeah, like did you want to be somewhere else when you were there?
Oh, yeah.
At what age did you decide you wanted to get out?
Probably 14, 15 years old. I was like, nope, getting out of here.
Yeah. What were some like deciding factors to that?
Snowboarding.
Okay.
Yeah. I started snowboarding when I was about 14 or 15 years old, around the same time. And, Minnesota, they have hills.
Yeah.
No mountains really. And so we ended up my dad took me to Colorado, I think once. Yeah. And we went snowboarding out there actually a couple times, and I just loved it. So I was like, I'm moving to Colorado, Dad. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah. Saw that you were at New Seasons Market recently. You said the apocalypse had begun on their Instagram. Was the fruit was all out or something? What happened?
Oh God, what post was this? Oh yeah, that was during there was going to be a snopocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, people freak out. This is another thing, okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't snow here. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
But it's like a couple of inches. I grew up in Minnesota, and then I lived in Colorado for 7-8 years. You want to talk about some snow? Mm-hmm. Where there's like 6-8 feet of snow. You're literally snowed in. You can't leave. And that's insane. And people are like, oh my God, we're going to get an inch of snow. I better go to the grocery store. We could be stuck here for days.
Yeah. I'm from the East Coast, and I've driven behind some of these people, and like, it's like a light rain, and I'm like,
yeah,
West Coast, that's how they do it.
Were you here? You were here during the snowpocalypse, the 2016 snowpocalypse?
I was.
Oh my God. So at that point in time, I lived in Southwest Portland.
Yeah.
I lived right off of Beaverton Hillsdale Highway. I was like 5 minutes away from my work.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go to the Glass Animals concert that night. And I was sitting in my apartment, and I could see Beaverton Hillsdale Highway from my living room. And it was a frickin' parking lot. People were just stuck. And then people just started abandoning their cars on the side of Beaverton Hillsdale Highway. I heard later that people were abandoning their cars on the highway and just walking places. I'm like, what are you guys doing? There's literally an inch, and you're going 5. Like, you're literally going 5 miles per hour. You're fine.
Yeah. It's absolutely, they don't know how to deal with the snow. I guess they're not used to it.
But then again, like, in all fairness, there's not a lot of really good snow removal techniques out here either. So after a while, when there is snow and then it melts and it turns to ice and then it freezes and then it does that 3 or 4 times, there gets to be a pretty thick sheet of ice.
Yeah.
And I did see one guy in a Mustang trying to drive the next day after that. And I was like, wow, you're dumb. Like, you have real rear wheel drive. You don't have chains. You're just spinning out.
Yeah.
And then later when I was coming back, cause I have a Subaru. So I was having a great time.
Yeah.
Then he was getting towed. So.
Have you ever had like cancellations? Are you less busy on days where it's like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I've gotten to the point now where, I just cancel.
You just don't even show up that day.
I send out a preliminary email first to be like, hey, heard that this weather is supposed to be coming in. I'll leave it up to you if you want to come in or not. But just letting you know, giving you the option. And for the most part, people cancel. Especially like if I have, like I did have one older lady, she's in her late 70s, early 80s. And, she canceled right away. She's like, I'm not going to be able to drive. And I was like, totally cool. Get it. You just stay safe and warm. So
Yeah. I saw that you were going to the beach a lot on your Instagram.
Oh yeah. That was in Maui.
Nice.
Yeah.
You went to a lot of places in Maui. How many places did you go in Maui?
Oh, I mean, I kind of traveled all over the island. I rented a car while I was there. This was in January. That was my first trip getting out of the Portland winter, which I had said as soon as I moved here that I was going to do it. It only took me 4 years to do it.
Yeah.
So, or
January.
4.5. Yeah.
How long were you there?
9-10 days.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really nice. 70s, 80 degrees, sunny. Couldn't beat it.
That's awesome. What was it? How much temperature was?
It was like 70s and 80s.
That's what it was in the Philippines. That's where I was at that time.
Oh, okay.
I was there for 3 weeks.
What? That's cool.
So we were having the same kind of experience. That's
Except
really cool.
yours was much cheaper.
Yeah. Mine was much cheaper. You're right.
Yeah. I didn't realize how expensive Maui was because I ended up getting one of those crazy deals from Scott's Cheap Flights.
Okay.
It was like $300 round trip nonstop flights. And I was like, sweet, that's a rad deal. I'm going to do it. And so I did it. And then, a rental car, that was $1,000. And then I was looking at
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I was looking at Airbnbs and those were like $400 a night. And I was like, that's kind of like my
crazy.
budget for 5 nights.
Yeah.
So I ended up car camping for a few days. Well, first night I stayed in a hostel in Wailuku, and then I car camped for a few days after that, which was kind of like weird at first.
Yeah.
Single female rocking around by herself, and I'm like, I've got a hunting knife. You better watch out.
Didn't you try couchsurfing.org?
I thought about it.
Yeah.
But once again, like this single female, like, I don't know. It's just, sometimes I might, like, I've thought about doing that before, but.
Yeah, you could always stay with women.
Yeah. There aren't too many women who host though,
True.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've looked at that. Like for my Vegas trip, I thought about couch surfing and doing that, but.
It's about the references too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like, then you got to be spending hours in Maui looking at people's couchsurfing profiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I ended up just car camping for a few days, which was really cool. I ended up car camping up at I'm spacing on the name right now, but the Mount Haleakala.
Okay.
And so I stayed up in a campground up there, which it gets cold. And I brought my sleeping bag. I had like warm jackets and Under Armour and a hat and everything. And I had to wake up in the middle of the night and turn my heater on because I was it got down to like 30.
Maybe it's like California in the sense that if you go in the shade, you're suddenly cold.
Yeah. Yeah. I really I was prepared, but I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So.
You also ran into a retro van I saw in one of those pictures.
Yeah, that was at Little Beach. So, my boyfriend's friend, he lives in Maui. And so he ended up hitting me up and telling me to go to Little Beach.
Okay.
And so on Little Beach, every Sunday, they have this nude beach, kind of locals only festival thing.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. But that van was just in the parking lot there.
Nice.
It's like, that's rad. I'm going to take a picture of this.
Yeah. Have you been to Sauvie Island, nude beach?
I haven't.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I don't necessarily troll around looking for nude beaches.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened that I was like, sure, why not? I'll do it.
Yeah, I don't go there every summer, but it's been a few summers. But got to check it out. Sauvie Pumpkin Patch. There's a corn maze. And,
I've heard about that.
Yeah, and then there's the clothed beach. So.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear that, I mentioned in a previous podcast, though, that their cops are just pulling people over randomly now for checking the car for alcohol and stuff like that, because they want it to be a dry beach now. I think a lot of the residents don't want the nude beach goers there. $7 parking is not enough.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I'm sure $7 for parking has gone up in the few years. It's got to be 10 or 11 by now, I'd assume.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I've never been there, but it's been on my list.
Nice. Did you check out any active volcanoes in Maui? Because I did. In the Philippines, I was at Tagaytay, and it was really awesome. I had this Airbnb with this amazing view, and I didn't go into the actual... Well, like, there's a way you can go all the way up to the volcano. I didn't go that far.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are there active volcanoes in Maui? I don't
know. That's a good point that you make. I really don't know.
I don't think there are.
Okay. I didn't even know that the volcano I was at was active until I left later. I was like, oh, that was active. That's great.
Cool. Glad that's in the Ring of Fire, right?
I'm not sure. That's something I should check out. Yeah, there was actually, I remember I was looking at some photographs on Instagram, and there was this couple that got married, and they were taking like selfies in front of an exploding volcano. It was just the smoke that was coming out.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't the one I was at.
No, that's cool though.
Yeah.
What? That would have been cool if it were exploding, but also probably not super safe to be around.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of the view I had. It was the most incredible. It was a $40 Airbnb, and that was because I used like a first-time discount, but still, it was incredible. Like the place that I had and where it was located, the view. I had this like video, and it just looked like a painting, basically. It's amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
It was like $700 for the plane ticket, and it was so cheap at some points. I was just going from hotel to hotel.
Yeah.
One of them was like $20 for a night or something.
Yeah. That's what my friend said about Thailand. Her daughter was just there, and she was saying like for a really nice hotel, it's like $25.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's like, you have to consider like, you're just going to have a good time there just because you can do anything you want because your money's worth much more there. That's what I end up so much fun just going to a mall and just like mundane things I could do anywhere was fun there.
Right. Yeah. When I went to the Dominican Republic, and I mean, I lived there for an entire summer, and I think I spent $3,000 the entire 3 months that I was there. That included lodging, food, everything. Yeah. I'm like, what? Like,
I was looking at my credit card bill and $600 for one. I was like, that's it. That's all I spent. I was like, this is awesome.
I'm gonna go back there every year. Yeah.
I wanted to go back, but I want to check out some other places.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places that don't have that great of an economy. Like I was gonna wanted to check out Thailand soon. Actually, there's a lot of cool stuff to check out over there.
Yeah.
Been listening to this podcast by Ari Shaffir, Skeptic Tank, and he's a comedian that goes and plays at all kinds of places, and he just performs internationally. And that would be cool to do the podcast like that one day, you know?
That would be really cool.
Like, I'm going to visit New York, and I want to get a Zoom portable recorder, so... The reason I called it People of Portland and Beyond was because I wanted to eventually interview some of my family, people in New York and stuff like that when I go to visit. So I didn't even thought about the international thing, but that would be cool too.
Yeah, just like interview locals and ask them about their life and what they do. And
exactly, or what have they heard of Portland, you know? I even asked some Portland residents, like, the first person I had on, I was like, what is your opinion of New York? Like, when you were younger, like when you were 7, what was your first impression of New York? Yeah, what was yours? I don't know, like in a movie or something like that?
Yeah, that's where I pretty much saw New York, and it's just a big city. That's where you go if you want to be famous, which I actually thought about moving there after I saw Coyote Ugly.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to be a singer.
Yeah, Eliza Dushku fan?
No.
She was
I don't
Buffy
know who she
the
is.
Vampire Slayer. She was the second Slayer, basically.
Okay.
But she was also one of the main people in Coyote Ugly, from what I remember.
I'm thinking of someone different, I think.
She was the brunette one, and she's kind of got like the tough girl. I guess they all do.
I don't think she was in Coyote Ugly.
I remember. I guess maybe. I don't know. Maybe she was in that cheerleading movie, Bring It On.
Yeah, she was in Bring It On.
Good thing you saw that. And I was just thinking a lot of the first impressions people have of Portland, and it's obviously Portlandia. Was what for you?
No, actually, I had never even seen Portlandia before I moved here.
Okay.
I actually didn't even watch it until a couple of years ago. Not really my show. I can understand some of the concepts, but Portlandia is pretty out there, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
But I actually took an internet survey to move here.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like I can't remember what the site was. I think it actually might be down now, but it ended up giving me a list of like 20 places that I should move. A bunch were in Oregon, California, and then there were a couple obscure ones. Like one was in, I think, Vermont, and then another one was Little Rock, Arkansas. I was like, well, I'm not going to move to the South because I don't want to get fat.
Yeah.
And California is too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to move to the East Coast, so I was actually looking at moving to St. Helens. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't think I need to move to a small town yet. I'm 26. I was 26 at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I still like, I have some crazy left to get out. So I'll move to a big city. Like I've never lived in a really big city before. Sure, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with it so far.
How far east have you been?
I've been to Florida, North Carolina.
I heard the people are crazy in Florida. Is that true?
I was in high school, and
Okay.
there were we had chaperones, so I didn't get to.
I was scrolling Facebook
Commingle.
the other day, and someone put a post in, and they were like, "Google your name and
Oh, yeah.
Florida man." You saw that too?
Yeah, I did it.
What'd you get?
It was like April 26th. Florida man saves turtle.
Oh, you're supposed to. You didn't know year? Because I did it with a year. It was harder to find it. That way.
I think it just said your birth date. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birth date. Yeah. I guess I assume that's with your year.
Month and day.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably easier that way because I don't think I found anything, or it was like an interesting article, but I don't think it was on that date. Do you have any pets at home?
No, I used to. I used to have a dog.
Yeah.
But
I'm still figuring out how that question could even be interesting, but
Really?
one day it's going to lead into something cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I had a dog. I had a boxer. He was 9.5. He ended up getting a brain tumor.
Yeah, that's why I never asked that
Right.
question. It's like, oh, the
Dark.
pet died and didn't get another one. It's like, what can you do?
Right.
Unless they have a pet, and then when they do have a pet, you're like, will you
Super
take them on
excited.
walks and stuff?
Right?
It's
Like, what do you do
unless
with
there's
it?
like a really cool, a really rare thing about that. Like my friends, my dad's friend used to have a cat that could fetch paper balls like a dog.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of my best memories, I think, one of my most favorite memories, I think, with him, though, was we were up in Seattle, and it was a really hot day, and we went down to the market down there,
Yeah.
whatever that's called, and we were crossing the street, and he was a boxer, and he's drooling, doing his dog thing,
Yeah.
and we're crossing the street, and walking the other way, there are these two really nicely dressed women, and just as they're passing us, he just does the boxer shake,
Yeah.
and just slobber just starts flying everywhere, and they're like, ah! And I was like, oh, sorry. That sucks.
Yeah. I was staying with a friend in this apartment building complex, and at the time he had two cats. Lucy, who I have now, and the other cat was called Mama Cass, and she was a sweet cat, little cat. She was really cool, and she was social, and she would curl up next to you, but she had this thing that she would do where she would spit all over you. She would like shake her head and just like get this weird saliva all over you. You don't know why it happened. And Roman was okay with it, and the current owner, Brian, who adopted her from him, is okay with it too. But I was deciding, I was like, I like Lucy. Lucy would just hide because she didn't like the other cat, basically. So she would hide the whole time, and she was kind of like just a silent cat. But I ended up adopting Lucy because she didn't spit all over me. So yeah, these traits, they matter a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You have to match your personality.
Yeah, and Lucy ended up coming into a whole different personality when she ended up coming to this apartment because she wasn't terrified of Mama Cass.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. So you really liking it in Portland over here?
Yeah, it's been interesting. So when I first moved here, I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything. I had just graduated from Colorado State University.
Yeah.
And within a few months, my student loans came into repayment, and I was working at a local spa here. I'd started off as front desk while I was working on transferring my massage license over.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to open up my own spa. Mm-hmm. And so I figured, like, oh, I'll at least get my feet wet and start working at a spa, start to learn the area and meet people. Yeah. And, transferred there. And then unfortunately I started having some kind of not really like health issues. I started getting plantar fasciitis, which really sucks when you're like 26 years old and you're like, I can't really walk. This hurts.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah. And, but anyway, yeah, no. So then I ended up, after that, I got a job. I was a content manager for a little bit. And I was also working at a different spa part-time, and things kind of unfortunately hit the fan with my content management job. I was let go, and I found out that they sold the company shortly after that, after they let a bunch of people go. Yeah. And then there was a fire at the spa that I was working at, and I was like, okay, seriously, like what? And then I started my own business, and ever since then, it's just, things have been really good. Like, it was kind of just like that push. It's like, okay, you need to do your own thing now.
Yeah. Can't imagine going back personally.
Oh, no.
No boss is the best.
It's the best. And, it's a lot more work. I do work a lot. A lot of people they're just like, oh, you only work 4 days a week. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm there for like 10 and a half hours each day.
Yeah.
And then not to mention like laundry and email and marketing and everything.
Stop.
It doesn't.
When you get home, it doesn't stop.
No. And like, people expect you to respond on Monday because that's the business week. And I'm like, it's not my business week, but I'll still respond.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're constantly answering emails and phone calls and doing social media. And
did you learn from the content manager job, like social media stuff?
No.
What was that job about?
So I was a content manager for a caregiving, it was an online caregiving continuing ed, business. And I pretty much just worked in Excel all day.
Not that exciting.
It was not very mentally stimulating. I'm really glad that I was let go, because like, it's just one of those jobs where, okay, I've been doing this for 9 months. I feel like I know it. I'm not being challenged, and I've gained 15 pounds, and I kind of dread going to work.
Yeah. What are some of the reasons that you decided you wanted to go into massage therapy?
I don't know.
Did you want to help people, heal people?
Well, yeah. So when I first moved out to Colorado, I lived in Steamboat Springs. It's a mountain town.
Yeah.
And I was going to school for business up there. And then I changed to ski and snowboard business. Yeah. And then after I moved to Fort Collins from Steamboat, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep living in a mountain town, wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going to business school. So then I ended up thinking back to high school, and us girls, we'd have sleepovers and do girl things, do each other's hair, give each other massages, nails, whatever. And people were always like, Rachel, your massages are so good. And I thought about that, and I was like, well, I like people. Like, I feel like I could do that. Yeah. And I ended up, going to massage school, and once again, it kind of fell into my lap, and it just really worked out. And I'm so glad that it did. Yeah. Because now I've been in the industry for 11 years, and I'm getting ready to go back to school for naturopathic medicine. Nice. So yeah, in like 8 years, I'll be a doctor.
Nice. So are you more of a believer in the philosophy of Eastern medicine as opposed to Western medicine?
Oh yeah.
Me too, I think.
Yeah, hands down.
They're treating the symptoms out here.
Unfortunately, yeah, there's a lot of symptom management going on, not really looking at root cause.
I think they're jumping to chemotherapy too. That's what happened to one of my doctors. They're like,
you have cancer.
Just a blood cancer called polycythemia vera.
I've never heard of it.
And it's very rare. 1 in 100,000 people have it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I was fine since 2011, but
wow.
Yeah, like totally fine. That's when I found out. Mm-hmm. Eventually, like my spleen enlarged or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So their first thought was take chemo pills. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. That's my first thought, was like, hell no.
That's poison.
Exactly. So I Googled like crazy, and apparently there's an alternative called Pegasus. Interferon alpha 2B is the medical name. And that is just like a natural protein, basically. And it's like you do it every week, and there's no like harmful cancer. Well, there's still a chance, but it's like less chance. Yeah. Like the other one, you get all these secondary cancers with the chemo pill. Mm-hmm. And normally people that have this are over 60. Mm-hmm. So I think they went off that. And then I called them, and then they agreed with me. They're like, yes, you should do the interferon because you're young and healthy. I was like, yeah, good idea.
Oh my God. Yeah. Thanks for suggesting that, Doc.
Exactly. Thanks, Kaiser Permanente.
Which is actually really interesting because Kaiser does have some really good healthcare plans that
They do. They're pretty good.
that include alternative medicine.
Yeah.
Like some of my patients, they have Kaiser CHP, and that includes 12 massages per year, and it depends on what their annual maximum combined is.
Yeah.
But so like it's 1,000 or 1,500, but that's combined with naturopathic medicine, acupuncture, chiropractic, and massage.
You're telling me that they cover massage?
It depends on your plan, but
I don't think my plan.
but yeah, I could call and check.
All right, that sounds good.
But yeah, it just kind of depends on your plan. I mean, even like Blue Cross Blue Shield. So, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you accept Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. I'm like, yes, I do, but not all plans offer coverage for massage. For example, Highmark, which is based out of Idaho.
Yeah.
I just learned after spending an hour and a half trying to verify someone's insurance benefits, another thing that I do on my days off, that none of their plans cover massage. So, and that would have been a surprise for the client. Like, okay, you just received massage.
Yeah, that's happened to me. I went to a chiropractor, and then they're telling me later, and I'm like, I'm glad that you researched, because that sucks. I mean,
right. Oh, and especially for chiropractic.
Yeah, it sucks for everybody, because the customer doesn't want to screw you over by not paying. You don't want to tell them, oh, you got to pay anyway.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. But especially for chiropractic, if you're going in there and like getting x-rays and stuff, that first appointment is usually $200 or $300.
I think the one I went to wasn't like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The chiropractor that I go to just down the street from my business, I think it's like All Science Chiropractic or something. The first session is pretty all inclusive. They end up doing x-rays and different kind of learning techniques, and then they adjust you. They put these like electromagnetic wave things, I don't know, down your spine, and they can see the
Stim?
Yeah, they can like
Electrostim?
Yeah, they can see the tension, and it's color coded and everything.
Yeah, I think I went to Everett Healing Center. There's a chiropractor attached to that building.
Oh, okay.
And they
I've
did
heard of
something
that.
like that, but didn't get past the first session because, I don't know. I've had chiropractor work, and it's okay, but it didn't fix what I needed. So,
Yeah.
But have you been to Everett Have you heard of that place, Everett Healing Center?
I have heard of it, and don't they also? It's like the Everett House.
Yeah, Everett. I always mess up the name.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were different.
Yeah, the same thing.
Okay, same thing. Don't they have a bathhouse too?
They do.
Yeah.
I love the hot tub and the saunas there.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I've never been there. That's also on my list. I have been to, God, what's that other bathhouse? It's in Southeast Portland.
I've heard it mentioned like 3 or 4 times.
Common Grounds.
Common Ground.
Yeah,
I'm going to check that out eventually.
Yeah. That's the whole like nude bathhouse thing is kind of different. I went in there like wearing a bathing suit just because like I couldn't imagine like running into a client like, oh, hey Ronald, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know how I haven't ran into anyone yet, but now that I'm doing the podcast, it might eventually. But
Yeah.
I haven't been in a while.
Yeah. Never know.
Yeah. I think about after next year, that's going to happen a lot. I'm just going to be running into people. And be like,
Yeah.
What's up?
Probably. Hey, what's up? Oh, hey, I know your podcast.
Yeah. As far as massage, the guy clients you get, are they ever inappropriate?
Rarely,
Okay.
thankfully. I've been asked out a handful of times.
Yeah.
I don't do house calls anymore, unfortunately, because of an experience that I had when I was living in Colorado.
Yeah.
You can always kind of tell, like, I mean, I've been doing this for 11 years. I can tell within 3 seconds of going and picking someone up from the front area, whether or not they're going to be creepy or kind of just like test boundaries and stuff.
What do you do at that point?
I still bring them back. I mean, there's nothing you really can do, unfortunately, if they don't verbally or physically do something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray area. You know, I've had a lot of people, like when I first started and I was doing the Groupon, I get a couple phone calls. I remember I spent like 30 or 45 minutes on the phone with this one guy who was asking me about draping and my style of massage. And he was like, oh, you know, my last massage therapist in Florida, she didn't use any sheets or anything. And it was kind of like a loamy style. I was like, well, I don't know loamy, but you know, in Oregon, draping is required.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
He never booked.
You hung up on that issue.
Yeah. Or you get like, every now and then you'll get a guy who, after the massage, you're handing him a glass of water and he'll graze your hand with his finger or something. I'm like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Do you find that annoying or just like...
It's annoying.
Yeah.
And unprofessional. Like, it's I don't know. It's just, I'm not a sexual object. I'm providing a healing service.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can see that. How it would be very like, that's not what you're there for.
Yeah.
And I think there's debates on online forums. They're like, people are just saying like, well, in Thailand they do it and it's not a big deal and all this stuff. They're like, it's part of the massage. It's not even extra over there. And other people are like, well, massage therapists are not sex workers. So
Yeah.
in America, that's not how it is.
Right. It's really unfortunate that people still have that misconception. For example, the word masseuse versus massage therapist.
Yeah.
I'm a massage therapist. I went to school for that. I've had my own business. I do continuing ed. Masseuse is more of a derogatory term. Mm-hmm. It's something that you would call a sex worker. Now there's an uneducated, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So I just very politely say, oh, I'm actually a massage therapist. And then people might ask the difference and I tell them. And usually after that, they use the appropriate term, but still some people don't and whatever.
Yeah. I think it goes down to a lot of things like Captain Marvel was not named Miss Marvel. I think we've graduated as a society where we don't need to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I never considered that, but you're right. And once about 7 or 10 years ago, I called someone an actress and she's like, actor, it's kind of the same thing.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that about actor versus actress.
I didn't know that either. I don't even know if it's a thing, but she might have been uber feminist. I don't know. But at the time, I saw her point.
Okay.
I was like, why are we differentiating someone that acts as a female or a male? Why do we need to know that?
Right.
They're both doing the same thing. They're just actor, it's interesting.
Yeah. That is really interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, the other thing about Portland too that's really interesting, unfortunately, is that we do have a high amount of sex workers here. It's a port. Yeah, a lot of people.
A port, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, it's really sad, but it's the Asian population.
Really?
Yeah, they're abducted and then they're.
Oh yeah, I heard the trafficking. There's never hardcore evidence, but you hear about it all the time.
You hear about it. I mean, have you been to the tunnels? I think it's like the Shanghai tunnels.
Shanghai tunnels? No.
Yeah. They do tours.
Okay,
There's like
I wanted to do it.
Ghost tours and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. Just something kind of Portland and weird to do.
I mean, there's this place called Fang Chang. It was a Chinese place. And years ago it was closed down. And I always thought it was like a drug front place. We didn't know what it was.
Never know.
There's this place in the corner. Like, it's never anything. And we're like, what is this building? No one ever goes there.
Right? Like, how are they keeping their doors open?
They tried to open like a Hooters type place.
Okay.
And I saw it open for like one day and it didn't work out for whatever reason. It's like a juice bar with bikini. Just didn't work out. Did you know that Portland has the most strip clubs per capita?
I did know that. Yeah.
Have you been to one yet?
Oh yeah, I've been to a few. It's not really like my go-to Friday, Saturday night thing, you know. I'm comfortable with the human body and everything, but once again, it's more of like that. It's not really romantic, at least not in my opinion. Some people think it is.
People treat it like a bar over here in Portland.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're all. Yeah. I don't know. Once you've seen one, I feel like you've kind of seen them all. Yeah. Just naked ladies dancing. We don't really have too many men though.
Have you been to the male strip clubs?
I've been to we only really have Silverados.
There's not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's sexist.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not fair. Ladies need a place too. Where's our Chippendales?
It's not fair. You're getting dragged to these strip clubs and it's not as enjoyable.
No.
And I think, how many years before more male strip clubs are going to start popping up? Like, society's going to accept that females can be sexual.
Yeah. Well, and what I think that they don't really realize is how much money women actually have to spend. I mean, we're working. In a lot of cases, the women are actually making just the same, if not more, than their spouse or boyfriend or whoever. And yeah, we wouldn't mind going out to those things every once in a while,
Yeah. I don't think it's good to like suppress these things. It's like, just go out and have fun every once in a while.
Right. People are people.
Yeah.
But, then again, like I'm also, not a huge advocate of strip clubs either. I feel like it's kind of where your soul goes to die a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think you should go every weekend at
No,
all.
no.
I always feel like when I'm in a strip club, I always get dragged along by my friends, but I've gone alone, of course, but like, it feels dirty, feels seedy.
Yeah.
It's not a fun environment to be in. It's dark.
Yeah. No, and so my blog, I ended up working at a strip club just really part-time as a cocktail server. And it was really interesting. I only ended up working 3 shifts before I decided that this was not the place for me. And it was just kind of sad. Like there was this first night, there was this really cute guy in there. Of course he's talking to all like the model looking strippers, and he's got like 2 or 3, and he's just bragging about some DUI that he got.
What?
I'm like, wow, you're kind of a tool.
How was he bragging? He was like laughing and just
smiling.
Yeah,
He was just laughing. It's like, oh yeah, I got a DUI, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you should really be drinking then. Good luck.
And he's drinking while he's saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. What a keeper.
Yeah.
I blogged about it. That's cool.
Nice. What's your blog?
It's myurbandatinglife.com. Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't been consistent with it.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
And then I started dating someone.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. When's the last post you put up?
Oh, it's been a few months. Yeah, it's been 3 or 4 months. I can't remember.
I'm curious to know how old you were when South Park came out and what you thought of it.
Ooh.
Since you're from a small Colorado town, mountain town.
Yeah.
That's what made me think of South Park.
Well, I mean, I lived in Colorado for 7 or 8 years. South Park, let's see, I was in, I think, late middle school or maybe early high school when that first came out.
Were you watching it then?
I never really got into South Park. I mean, like, Kenny and stuff. Yeah. But,
it's more, yeah, I guess, go on.
No, so I never really got into it, but I did live in Colorado and was at Casa Bonita. Never actually went there.
No, that's awesome. I didn't know that there was one there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
cool.
in, God, where is Casa Bonita? It's somewhere near Denver.
Nice.
Yeah, just outside of Denver.
Something to try if you're in Colorado.
Yeah, just whatever. Why not?
Have you been back lately, Colorado?
No. Well,
A family there?
Denver Airport. I do have an uncle that lives in Silverthorne. It's up in the mountains.
Where are your parents living now?
My dad lives in Minnesota.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
So.
Why was I confused for a second?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you been to Minnesota lately?
It's been a couple years. Yeah, 2016.
I still have to visit New York again. It's been a couple years. I was last year. I try to go once a year. But it's cold.
It is cold, and like is New York kind of the same way that it is for Minnesota, where it's like you get 2 months out of the year where it's actually decent weather.
In New York, it's something like that, but it's weird because it's extreme. It's like either it's going to be so cold or so hot.
Yeah, and it gets pretty humid there too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same in Minnesota.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just a weird, wacky temperature. It's like you never know what it's going to be in New York.
Yeah.
Not like Florida where it's crazy humid.
Yeah. It gets pretty humid in Minnesota. June and September. If you ever want to go to Minnesota, those are the months to go. I'd say like late June and then mid-September.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it's really cold in the winter, really humid in the summer. And in the spring it's kind of gray, overcast, maybe rainy.
Yeah, have you done snowboarding out here?
I have, yeah, not too much.
Mount Hood? Where?
Yeah, nice. Mount Hood.
It's cool.
It was, that was fun. Different type of snow here than in Colorado for sure.
Powdery?
It's thicker. Okay. It's a little bit more wet.
So does it hurt more or less?
If it freezes, it hurts a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really fall that often, thankfully.
Nice. That's one of the reasons I don't go snowboarding. I tried it one time and I was like, screw that. I'll stick to skiing. Now I'm not going to do any of that, but yeah.
Yeah, the guy that I went with, this was a date, and he fell a lot. He thought he was going to be so good too. So humiliating.
I've done that in front of a 7-year-old and fall on my ass.
Yeah. This guy was like, he's a skateboarder and he's really good at skateboarding.
What? That's funny, because I was like, if I was a skateboarder, I bet I'd have better balance.
No, that because it's opposite. Apparently, I don't skateboard, but yeah, apparently it's really opposite. And of course, like, dude wasn't listening to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
So good thing we're not together.
When you guys were down at the end of the mountain, did the 7-year-old snowboard past him and humiliate him as well?
You know, it took him a while actually to get down. I think he only did like 2 or 3 runs because it just took forever. He kept falling. And so he ended up going in. And I was like, I'm going to do a few more runs.
You can only fall on your ass like 10 times before you're like, I can't. I'm out of ass falls.
Pretty sure I've like broken my tailbone at this point.
Exactly.
And my pride.
Yeah.
So we had some ciders after that. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Fun, yeah. I will check back and see how the business is going. If you do any naturopath stuff, we'll see if you expanded.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that'll take a few years. I'm starting at PCC actually next week. I'm getting all my pre-med prereqs done.
Nice.
So I've got like chemistry, bio, physics, and a psych class. That's going to be 2 classes per semester through next summer. And then after that, assuming that I get accepted, which I will, I'll transfer into NUNM, and then that's where I'm going to start the naturopathic and concurrently classical Chinese medicine.
Nice. I actually have this business called West Seed Farm, and this whole wall back here is supplements and seeds and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm totally into that.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Taking any supplements right now that you believe in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Every day I take fish oil, and then every night I take a Mag-Cal Zinc, so magnesium, calcium, zinc. We don't really get enough magnesium in our diet.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come in dark leafy greens and stuff. And unfortunately, our soil is depleted. So what we do get out of the greens is not very much.
Portland in particular?
No, just in general in the United States, because our soil is just so depleted. And those 3, they work synergistically together to help each one absorb better into the body. Yeah. But if you're already getting enough calcium, then you can probably skip that, because then you could probably get calcium deposits, which you don't want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so fish oil, that, and then of course like a liquid multi, because you absorb a liquid multi better than you do capsules and tablets.
It's hard to keep up with everything you need to do. Like, sometimes I watch the Joe Rogan show, and they talk about different thing every time. Like, they're like the telomeres, if your telomeres are too short, and then there's these things called broccoli sprouts or something.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much you can do. It's like, what do you do? Everything? Do you do some things?
Yeah. For me, I've just kind of found like certain things that work for my body, and I do that.
Yeah.
I also take a probiotic. You have to take that too, pretty much.
Unless you're eating yogurt, I guess.
Better eat a lot of yogurt.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, like our yogurt doesn't even have that much in terms of probiotics. And you can eat like, fermented foods all day long, but it's, I don't know.
That has to do with the genome, or the gut genome or something, right?
Yeah, they're finding that the intestinal, the GI tract actually is the epicenter of our health. And it affects our brain and our skin and just everything. So if you have bad GI health, you're going to have bad health everywhere else too. Maybe not right away, but eventually.
It's interesting how if you go to the GI doctor, they're saying, oh, let's do the $2,000 test right now.
Or I could just stop eating out, stop drinking so much caffeine.
Change your diet, maybe.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you any paperwork on a diet you should possibly change at all. Let's not analyze what you're eating, what's doing what.
Right. The daily things that contribute to your actual health.
Yeah.
But...
And let's find out the symptom is, let's not even tackle GI, let's do other stuff.
Yeah. And that's once again, like one of the things that I just absolutely love about naturopathic medicine is like you go in there for a health issue and they're just like, let's talk about your diet. What's that like?
Yeah.
Like I was 28 years old and I started... Embarrassingly, I started getting hormonal acne. I was like, okay, like what am I going to do about this? I don't want to have my 30th birthday and have acne. Never really had a problem with acne in my life before. Yeah. And so they talked to me about my diet, which my diet is already pretty clean, but I was drinking a little bit more, which affects your hormones. And then caffeine also affects your hormones, as does dairy and gluten grains. So I really cleaned up my diet. They gave me some herbs and some tea to take. And within like 2 or 3 months, it was completely gone. Had I had gone to a traditional Western doctor, they would have prescribed me some sort of astringent cleaner, which actually makes your skin age faster, so it makes you look older. And it's expensive, and it dries out the skin, and it's just really harsh.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound like you know your stuff.
Yeah, I'm learning more. I have a lot to learn still. So
nice. Well, thank you again for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This is really cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.